10 little soldier boys went out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9. This is the poem which kicks off the greatest murder mystery that was ever written. And then there were 9. The great, the unsolvable, the incredible book created by the Queen of Crime, and the book which became the golden standard for murder mysteries. Welcome to the Bookbibuli podcast. And today we have Abhyudai here to discuss it with us. Welcome, Abhyudai.
Hi, I'm Abhyudai. I'm a student in class 9, Tanglin School, Singapore. I'm an individual who's into sports and reading. My few favorite authors are Agatha Christie, Mark Twain, and Charles Dickens. For me, Agatha Christie is my favorite for the reason how she weaves the words to create suspense and makes us question every single bit of information given in the book.
Well, that's an incredible list, Abhyudai. Well, coming to the book, did you find the answer to the riddle of the real killer? And also, was the nursery rhyme an easy crack to you?
I did not find the answer to the riddle until the second murder took place. The second incident made me go back and question the poem, as the first and second deaths were similar to the ones stated in the first 2 stanzas. As after going through the poem again, I started to see a connection with the past deaths and the poem. As stated in stanza 1, 10 little soldier boys went out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9. And in stanza 2, 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8.
Yes, it's kind of psychotic, the way the poem goes, and you keep going back and trying to think about it. I personally found it very, psychotic. Did you also find, the book entertaining, or did you find it disturbing, with the killer so intent on making sure that everyone was killed in a certain order, and that too with a nursery rhyme?
I did not find the book as entertaining or disturbing as I did intriguing. The book kept pushing me to read more and more and to unravel every single detail present inside those pages. Of course, the book is incredibly entertaining, or I would not have read and reread it so many times. And yeah, it is kind of disturbing because there's the whole concept of a man crazed by his own sense of justice, and he admits his own dependence on the poem as well. But still, I think that it is mainly intriguing, entrancing, maybe even a little hypnotic, and that is what makes the book so amazingly brilliant to me.
Well, I found it slightly disturbing and intriguing, yes, possibly that too. But it's an interesting book. Did you think that the book is worth all the hue and cry about it? Or does Agatha's prim and proper style, how did you find it? Was it obscure for you, chaotic for you? How did you find it?
I think that the book does deserve the attention it gets. I might be biased as Agatha Christie is my favorite author, but I think that this is a book that has truly got my blood pumping and my mind whirring. She makes us question every act for murder. The amount of information which makes so much sense at the end is of course amazing. And one of my favorite scenes is when we hear the thoughts of all the characters that are still alive, and amongst them, the murderers. But we do not find out who it is. Just a stunning scene.
Well, I think that the next question should be on the morality of it. So, what do you think about the system of averted justice or murderer avengers?
I am very clearly dissentious to the system of averted justice. To me, human life is more important than punishing a mistake or taking revenge for a single deed. Human life should not be taken away by the actions of a single man. A judge does not act on his own. He has the unbiased jury behind him. So, for a person to start to believe that he is there to dispense justice and commit the murder of 9 people who he could not reach is morally black, not even grey. Of course, the people he kills were all somewhat criminal, but he is worse than them because he personally kills them all, so as to ensure that his own version of justice is meted out.
Yeah, I guess. With the entire year that we had the lockdown, especially, primarily because I was home, I was able to finish the entire series of Agatha Christie. But I was able to do only Miss Marple and Poirot. And of course, I did a few standalones that she has done. But it was incredible, though after that, I felt, that there is, she takes a little bit of liberty with the clues and things like that, which is interesting, but then you get the hang of it. My favorite from the author, apart from And Then There Were None, was The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Which one was yours?
I do love the murder of Roger Ackroyd, and I have read books like Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express. But still, to me, just like you, probably the majority of the Christie reading population, And Then There Were None remains the favorite. The way it is written, the just right sprinkling of clues, the unsolvability, these things are all part of the charm I always feel whenever I think about this book. So I would confidently say that it is my favorite book by Agatha Christie.
Coming back to the morality of the book once again, if you were allowed to give lease of life to one character, if any of the 10 had been able to survive, whom would you have picked?
I would pick Dr. Armstrong. The death he is responsible for is an unintentional one, and he is constantly guilty about it. This shows that he does have remorse and very definitely does wish to take it back. He wishes that it would never have happened and that he would not have drunk that day. He also does not wish it to happen again and tries to find out who is committing the murders. Also, as a doctor, he had probably saved many lives in his career, which I think more than absolves him of the crime he once committed.
Well, thank you very much, Abhyudai. It has been really, really interesting to have you over, and we hope you are enjoying our platform.
I think Bookbibuli is a fabulous platform for learning about books and genres you may want to read, and to find out what other things of books you have read. I haven't seen any other platform which has children talking so much about what they like, dislike, and what they find entertaining about books. And it's been a pleasure to be part of this experience.
And last but not the least, which was the most entrancing moment of the book for you?
For me, the most entrancing moment was when we find out about the backstories of every member on the island through the letter. The method to the murderer's madness is a special part of the book, and the discoveries of all the places we all were wrong is beautifully written. We also come across a bewildering mindset where a person so strongly attuned to justice is not against the killings of 9 people, in the exact opposition of what justice is supposed to be. This scene really makes me think about the human psyche and its destructive tendency to justify its actions. It is such an entrancing moment, and one I read over and over.
Thank you once again, Abhyudai, for giving us this insightful discussion. Well, folks, there you have it. And Then There Were None, the highest best-selling mystery of all time. The book is brilliantly plotted and the exemplified version of morbid fascination, a masterfully crafted Mona Lisa, which took Mrs. Christie a long time to create. The book is presented through 10 characters' eyes and made with so many parallels and simultaneously plot threads. The poem, the victim's crimes, the murderer, the deaths, the deadly spring of the trap at every stage sends the reader's eyes and mind racing through the pages as each of their assumptions and flimsy solutions are proven wrong, time and again. As Christie's tortuous mind leads them through the labyrinth which no one has the ability to traverse but her, the book's repute of being legendary and unsolvable is earned, and if anything, an understatement. It twists each person, thread, death, and verse into a sinuous cord of pure, breathtaking beauty, a beauty which is a crime to leave unread. Now for Bookbibuli Read Record. The language competency required for this book will be 6. The reader should be able to comprehend the colloquial. No heavy words, not very difficult language.
The expected speed to read will be around 50 pages per hour. The genre being mystery and a well-written one, it will not be difficult to keep pace with. Read within a week, cover to cover. The child should have been comfortable with assimilating multiple characters with independent storylines. It will be a natural extension to a reading trajectory which already had The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, Death on the Nile, and The Murder on the Orient Express, all by the same author. Age 11 plus, this book will help in increasing the reading speed, develop the habit of reading for longer hours at a stretch, better the capability to follow multiple storylines, give a healthy understanding of human emotions with change in circumstances. Useful. Once you have read this, you are ready for The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. Until then, happy reading.